House is coming out live.
My fellow Americans, this is a momentous occasion. It is profoundly moving to know there is intelligent life out there. Alien life. And our world will never feel quite the same again.
Spaceman, I always wanted you to go into space, man.
Annihilate! Kill!
And smells, they consummate my
Hi there. Are you interested in the White House?
the black horizon, trying to take control. See my girl, she shivers in her bones. The sun and Senate rising, trying to take us soul. There's a fire between us, so where is your God? There's a fire between us. I can't get off the carousel. I can't get off this world. It's hypnotic, swap for the dose. Images on fascist roads. Cause I can breathe. Spaceman, I always wanted you to go into spaceman. It's time to terminate the great wide world. Morbid fascination, television takes control. Dancing nation, different races fall. Electronic information tampers with your soul. There's a fire between us, so where is your God? There's a fire between us. I can't get off the house. I can't get off this world. It's hypnotic, summer for windows. Images on fascist roads. Baby, I just I can I always wanted you to go into space.
Richie, I think these guys are very sick.
What's happening to him? What's killing him?
I think it must be my music.
Well, well, well. We are indeed back again. And hopefully we are live. And tonight we are getting into, some of the latest in regards to the alien deception. Now, I'm not talking about the immigrants here, okay? That maybe is for another time. This time, it's about what people might see or regard as little green men from planet Zog, or I don't know, Venus, Neptune, take your pick. Planet but non-binary unicorn. In fact, wait, I think that might be Scotland. I think that might be Scotland, so there you go. Anyway, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are in this absolutely insane world that we live in. Yikes. Where do you even begin? The beginning. Yeah, that's usually the case, right? So, I hope everyone is in fine form tonight. I'm not too bad. Although I tend to say that anyway. I think most people, when you ask them how they are, yeah, okay. And that's it. No one wants to, well, actually, not that great. Sit down. I'll explain everything to you. Of course, no one's got the time, right? I mean, people these days, they they don't even really communicate very much in the street, in the shop, or even in their own community, in their own street. All that's kind of been broken down, probably due to what is now deemed as socializing is kind of all on the interweb. Yeah. But of course it's not socializing. It is to an extent, but it's also not. It's I mean it's not you wouldn't get the same benefits from it whereas in comparison to the benefits you would get sitting with actual people in an actual room in the flesh. But hey, maybe I'm wrong, right? What do I know? But I do know that one of the co-creators of Spacebook, which is uh, Facebook, right? We'll go with that. He did say, and he said this. I mean, yeah, we take everything with a pinch of salt, but when you watch this interview, the guy, when he's talking about what Facebook done, he is so genuine. You can see it in his face. You can tell in his eyes that he's being honest with what he's saying. And he's talking about how Facebook would destroy, well, it is, he said, destroying the fabric of society. The fabric is getting ripped apart. The world that we knew, especially in the way of socializing and speaking to people and stuff like that. And he said it would rip apart the fabric of society. And he said it honestly, the guy was nearly crying when he said it. You could see it in his eyes. And do you know what? All the audience could do was laugh. And I've mentioned this story before, but that's all they could do. And I thought, yeah, I mean, it says a lot, that, right? People don't care. They think it's funny. They don't see. But of course, the guy wasn't laughing. He was practically crying. He talked about how he won't be using Facebook. He won't be letting his children use it. And that's coming from a guy who practically made it, seemingly. Of course, we know these were the faces to take it forward. It originally, when it comes to Facebook, the seed got set with a company called LifeLog, I believe. So, as far as I'm aware, that's what happened with Facebook. You might want to check it out if you've not heard about it. But I'd imagine most people here, they've heard about it. So, we are indeed back again, live on the backup channel. It's Talbanoki live now. We'll go with that. I was live, when was it? Monday. On Monday night with our brother, Scott's Armour. And it was great. The main topic was 9/11, and we covered quite a lot, but we went quite a lot of places in regards to the topic, the discussion. So I really enjoyed it, and we'll do it again. And I'll be getting more guests on in the future. So yeah, that'll be great. Well, at least that's what I'm hoping anyway, right? But I really enjoyed it. We spent about 3 hours chatting, and it flew by. I can't believe how quick it went by. I was quite shocked at how quick it went. So I must have been enjoying it. So we'll get Scott's back on again, and we might likely choose a different topic. We'll be experts on the 9/11 now, right? We might give that a wide berth next time, but we certainly won't not venture back to 9/11. Probably closer to the time. Yeah, 9/11's one of these things where it's one of these, let's call it situations where every year you look at different stuff in regards to it, and you think you've kind of seen it all, and then nope, something else comes out. More stuff comes out. You go down another rabbit hole, and you begin to see that it's. I mean, when it comes to what people might call an inside job, it's undeniable when it comes to 9/11. Truly undeniable. I don't think anybody, and I shouldn't laugh, but is there anybody who actually believes the official narrative of 9/11? There can't be, right? Surely not. I mean, come on. I guess there is people out there who, nope, I won't believe in any conspiracy theories whatsoever, and they start getting all crazy about it, like spitting at you, hissing at you, like they're some kind of demon. Has anybody had that? That's what they do. They they believe that everything is as it seems, and you shouldn't question stuff. No, because that would be stupid, right? Yeah, sure. So we're getting into some of the latest stuff tonight in regards to alien, oh well, alien life, the possibility of ET phone home. What do people think of? We'll jump in the chat. We'll have a small discussion for the time being. We'll see about how small it is. We'll probably go on forever. We'll jump in the chat. We'll say hello. We'll have a discussion to an extent. And then I'll probably look at a few different articles that we've got. And I think I've got 2 videos to play, but I can't remember. I think one of them's only about half a minute, and it's Reagan. We all know we all know the Reagan speech, right? I can't do a Reagan impression. I wish I could. I'm not even gonna try. It'll sound like, I don't know, an Australian or God only knows, an alien. Put it that way. So we'll jump into the chat. I've got the coffee tonight, and it's good. Life's not too bad, right? So I hope it is for you. We're all here anyway, and it's meant to be. That is for sure. So good evening, and thank you very much for joining. If you want to engage, if you haven't engaged before and you want to, just do it. Jump in the chat. I'm sure you'll be welcomed with open arms, right? By people that include the wonderful, the beautiful Justine Devoe back again, a long-term subscriber. And I thank you very much for your continued support. Absolute legend, Justine. Now, if Justine wants to, she can put her link into the chat and people can get subscribed. Otherwise, I'll be coming round, right? To chase you up. So honestly, if you've not checked out Justine's channel, get it done. or I will have to chase you. Who else have we got? Yep, Carol's in the hood. Thank you, Carol. Good to see you back again. And Robert's in the hood. Big Rab, back again. Good to see you. Katie Kane, back again. Good to see Katie. A pleasure. Thank you again for continued support. Scott's Armour, speak of the devil. What is it they say? Speak of the devil, and he is sure to appear. So that's you being called out as the devil. Of course, if anybody would be, it would probably be me, because like I mentioned before, when I was in Catterick training, the rifle number that I got from the armory was 666. And yeah, no one came near me, put it that way. Still to this day. Although let's face it, that was always the case anyway. So, good evening to Scott's Armour. And like I said, we'll get a chat again probably in the next few weeks. I think we arranged sometime in August. So I will let people know we've got a viewer on Facebook. Unbelievably, it's like a ghost town there. Most of the community interaction goes on over on the YouTube chat, but we are indeed tonight streaming. Well, we should be. We clearly are at the moment on Spacebook, but we should be on Twitter as well. So I don't know if anybody's listening on Twitter. Probably not, but if you are, good evening, and good evening to Jim as well. Did I see? Yep, our English brother sent some is in the hood. A pleasure to see you. I thoroughly enjoyed our discussion. When was it? Last week on the Saturday, I believe. It was great. A pleasure to be there. If you've not seen that, check it out. Sent some could put in the link possibly into the chat, right? But you'll have to wait. Don't run away, right? I'll have to tie you down here. Who else did I see? Dave is in the hood. A pleasure to see Dave back again. Great stuff over in the Netherlands, right? Zoo Scott, a pleasure to see you back again. Great stuff. Long-term subscriber again. I seen Richard in the hood. Where did he go? Where are you, Richard? There he. What have I done? There he goes. Good to see Richard back again. And thank you, Richard, for the support, continued support. And Clan Gun, if you can say it as well. Do you know this? I was going to say Craig Gunn because I'm so used to talking about well, he was a Elgin City player, football player, but he's not now, but he's still a legend at the club. And I'm used to saying Craig Gunn, so not Clan Gun. But again, a long-term subscriber, and I'm very grateful to have you here tonight. I did see also Carl in the hood and Gary as well. I'm hopeless when it comes to multitasking. We know. Everyone knows anyway, right? So we're all good in the hood. A dog named Boo as well. Good to see you. First in the door. Check is in the post. And I think we may have gotten everyone. Ian Mars in the hood as well. Good to see Ian in the door. Oh, Ragnar's here as well. Good to see Ragnar back again. I missed maybe quite a few people there. Typical, right? I should put it on slow mode. Whatever that is. Maybe I should put myself on that. Nah, hey, let's not give them ideas, right? Maybe if I got the Elon Musk chip, I could put myself on a slower version. I think I might be slow enough, to be honest. I remember someone said, and I've heard someone said it. It's been said on 2 occasions that I can recall. One time in a comment, and I think one time possibly on a live stream. and they said, I listened to him on times 2 because I can't on normal speed. Yeah, man. And that cracked me up. I mean, hey, yeah, whatever way you want to listen to it. And I must be honest, there is usually it's down to time for me, and I'll consider speeding up a video. And you still hear it just as good. You save a bit of time, but not much, to be fair. So, yeah, I guess hello to anybody who's speeding me up right now. Uh, Thinking, get to the point, right? There's not really a point tonight, to be fair. I was wondering, is there anyone here who actually believes, not maybe, but actually believes there is indeed extraterrestrial life out there? Like little green men, if you like, right? Or the greys. I would kind of lean towards most people thinking no. But I know a lot of people have in their mind, well, yeah, I think there might be. I think they like to entertain the thought of the possibility. And I certainly did like to entertain it at one point. But now I'm pretty adamant that no, there's not. That's of course simply my opinion, my view on it. Surely I'm allowed that, right? They can't take my opinion. Well, wait a minute, what? Yeah, I think they can. Terminated, right? Strike. Incoming strike. I mean, hey, we're used to that here. Censorship here, man. Unreal. It's not so bad on Facebook. And Twitter doesn't seem to be as bad. But when I think about where we are at the moment with censorship, compared to maybe, say, 10 years ago, man, it's not good. Honestly. And it's only getting worse as well. And I tend to think what's going to be the long-term effects of this? People not getting the truth. Mind you, when did we ever get the bloody truth? Let's face it. Not in my lifetime, anyway. Not in my lifetime. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. But the censorship on YouTube is probably the worst, I think, out there. And of course, yeah, that's Google, right? And Google pretty much control all the information that most people get, the sheeple. Anybody, we do it as well. I'm sure of it, but anybody out there, if they want to know something today, what do? Google, right? Not even like, I'll ask. I know someone who's gonna know, who might know. I'll ask him, or my parent might know, or I might know someone who's got a book on that subject. I could get that. Nope, nope, forget that. No one's got the time anymore. They want it now, and they want it zapped into their bloody brain practically. And yeah, let's not kid ourselves. That is pretty much around the corner. At least going by what they tell us this brain technology can do. When it comes to artificial intelligence, we probably will talk about that a bit tonight. But when it comes to AI, it doesn't really freak me out as much as when I think about the brain chip and what that's going to do to people. That gives me the creeps big time. How anybody can think that would be a good idea is beyond me, but that's the world we're in, right? It's unbearable for a lot of people. Truly unbearable. And that's the cold hard truth when it comes to the world we're in. No one's ever said it's easy, right? It's great. fantastic. If anybody did say that, they were on the wind up. It's full of mountains that need to be climbed, and of course, each one makes you hopefully all the better, all the stronger. Oh, I see Joni in the hood as well. My good friend Joni, who I done a stream with. When was it? About a month ago now, possibly. I'll get Joni on as well in the future. Again, a channel that I recommend people check out. If not already, I know some people here are already there, but I would certainly recommend checking it out at least, right? I'm not saying, hey, you have to go over there and get married to Joni. I'm just saying, hey, you might like it, check it out. I've had that in the past when I recommend a channel. Someone came back and said this, that, and the next thing. And it's like, well, hey, I'm only recommending it, right? I certainly like to try and help other content creators, people who stream, people who do discussions, and something a wee bit different from the main, the constant mainstream BS that we suffer day in, day out, right? Something a wee bit different. So if Joni's about, she can put the link in, and people can check it out, right? So what did people say? I'm unsure. I missed it now. I think the majority of people said no, right? From what I can recall, I don't think many people believe in extraterrestrial life unless they believe in the moon landing. Probably then, right? I think we have had. What was the astronaut again? Bugger. Mitchell. Is it Edgar? Edgar Mitchell. I'm sure he tried to say. I'm sure he tried to say there was alien life out there. But I mean, that guy was a complete and utter whack job. Honest to God, I think they must have went too far with the. I shouldn't laugh, but I think they went too far with Edgar Mitchell with the mind control. Although some of these actors have got bigger roles to play than others. When it comes to Buzz Aldrin, of course, he talked about. Man, fucking hell. When it comes to Buzz, right? What did Buzz say? Oh, there's a structure on Mars, is the planet Mars as well. And when people see this, they're going to say, "Who put that there? Who put that there?" And I mean, what? How long has that been a secret for? When did NASA come out and talk about a monolith on Mars? Obelisk. Yeah. And I mean, if people want to buy that, that's fine. I would be a wee bit skeptical, to be honest. What can you really believe when it comes to the Mars situation? I know some people, which include people like Bart Sabrell, reckon the Chinese moon lander is real. And I think the Mars moon rover is real. That's what some people believe. Me, I couldn't put my weight behind it. I simply couldn't. And I was quite surprised. The guy Richard D. Hall, who believes in the ISS and what was the other? Some of the other NASA, some of the NASA missions. Some people think some of them are real, some of them are fake. And I mean, yeah, possibly, but I would lean more towards them all being hoaxes. That's what they're good at. Why change it, right? Why change it? Richard surprised me as well because he not only knows that the Apollo moon landings are complete and utter nonsense. He knows that. And he also knows the Mars rover is complete nonsense. He's even written a book on it. So he knows they're at it, right? NASA. But he believes in the International Space Station, which I find a bit strange. I'm not sure. I mean, I do like the guy, Richard. He's done a lot of good work. I remember him from years ago when I looked into UFOs. Oh, in fact, I've got a video of it's a UFO. That's the only way I can describe it. And I seen it about maybe 8 years ago, maybe even 9 years ago now. I have to see if I've got it. Maybe I never uploaded it. I was meant to. Ah, man. Surely I did. Maybe I'll have time. Oh, I did. I did upload it. Cool. There you go. We've got it, right? So, yeah, quite interesting when Buzz Aldrin said that. I mean, I don't know. Is that in reference to Richard D. Hall? I think Richard was actually in the news lately in regards to the Manchester bombing. I don't know too much about it. We could look into that in the future. But I remember Richard from years ago looking into UFOs. And I think around about that time, I maybe first came across Bill Cooper. Again, more sort of focused on UFOs and space. Yeah. And at that particular time and before, I was all for there being aliens out there traveling to another galaxy. Yay! Woohoo! Like the Jetsons, right? What was I smoking then, man? Of course, the more that I looked into it, the more it became clear. It obviously not just overnight, more and more like, wait a minute. This is complete BS. And when it's getting peddled by entities like NASA and actors that include Brian Cox, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye, the actor guy. I mean, the list would go on, right? I mean, it's pushed to such an extent. Even that's got to make people wonder. And of course, when it comes to space, there's only really one entity in control, and it's NASA. No one else gets to be involved. They might get to take part, but NASA get the final say, right? They're in control of it. And they claim to be a space agency, but again, this is my own personal view. They're not. If anything, they're a climate company. And if you don't know why I'm saying that, you might want to look into NASA a wee bit more. They're in control of the data, the all-important data for this holy grail, which is, of course, net zero. Net zero is now the holiest of grails. We need to achieve it one way or another. At the moment, mitigation. They want you to stop living your fucking life completely. But that is not enough. Oh, no, 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 no. When you think it couldn't get any worse, right? Not only do they want you to not have a life, but they want to poison the air that you breathe in the name of climate change, net zero. And of course, that is in the form of stratospheric aerosol injection. Yeah. Wait a minute, is that? Yeah, that is that. What's going on right now above your head as we speak? Huh. So them conspiracy theorists, they were right. Shock horror. Who'd have thought it? But of course, what they try and say is, oh, that's different though. And it's quite funny. And it's so comical because you've got them saying, right, yeah, chemtrails is a conspiracy theory about spraying toxins in the air. But geoengineering is about an operation where they spray toxins in the air. But they're not the same thing. Yet when they talk about geoengineering, what do you think the picture is that they've got? It's a chemtrail. It's an aeroplane putting out a chemtrail every time. But it's not the same thing, right? Of course it's the same thing. And they're going to quietly bring it all out into the open, backed by the complete insane sheeple that are out there. But I think a lot of people are going to realize and come to when they do begin this operation. And I think if you think that the pandemic woke people up, wow. We maybe have not seen anything yet. You might hear an oyster catcher flying by. He's chasing someone away. I've got the window open, but I might close it. We'll see how it goes. It's getting on. The evening's coming in. Already the nights are getting darker here. And speaking of chemtrails, the weather has been absolutely terrible. Honest to God. So bad. But again, hey, that'll be climate change, right? Sure. Let's go with that. So, is there anyone here? Let's have a question or two. Right? It's my turn to ask. Mind you, I never do a Q&A. I don't see the point. I mean, who am I to tell anybody anything? What we going to do? What's your favourite colour? Orange, right? If you want to know. Orange and black is my two favourite. Orange, black, or white. That's my favourite colours. So there, we've done it, Q&A. But I was going to ask, is there anyone here who thinks we will see Project Bluebeam? And if so, is there a date that you think we're going to see it happen? Myself, I think it will happen, but I can't put a date on it. I know a lot of people point to 2030 for pretty obvious reasons, but I'm unsure. Yeah, I'll be getting called a Trump supporter now. He likes orange. Man, it originates from football, of course. But I like a bright orange. Tangerine is what I call it. For some people, it's too bright. It's too much. Hey, you're never going to get run down wearing it, right? You're always going to get seen, so that's a good thing. It can be quite a bold thing to do, walk about in bright orange, but yeah, there's an idiot here who does it. And that's me. What my wonderful wife, bought me a bright orange hoodie, completely orange with a black badge on it. And I love it. Honestly, it's so bright. People walk past like, Jesus, I can't see. So it's bold, right? And a bit of a statement. And not your average boring colors, although I do like to wear black as well. I am a bit of a sucker in a fashion sense. Not that I'm very fashiony. There's a new word. But I am a bit of a sucker for that, to be fair. None of us are perfect, right? We've all got crosses to bear. That is for sure. We're stuck in the beast system, in the meat grinder. Our good friend and Irish brother, Richie Allen, is on a bit of a timeout at the moment because he kind of burnt himself out. But that guy does phenomenal amount of work. Honest to God. He does a Monday show, a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then again on the Sunday. And week in, week out, and he just burnt himself out. But I think he needs to wind it down a bit. Maybe do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I say that because I really don't want him to completely burn out and think, do you know what? What's the point? What's the point when if he's risking his health by doing what he's doing, it's not a good idea then, right? Surely. Is it worth it then? I mean, he's done it since about 2014 and on occasions kind of had enough of it. So I'm a wee bit concerned for him. I hope he's going to be all right. I don't know. It's tough. I know what it's like. And like I said, no one does the amount of work that Richie does. So I only kind of know a wee bit about it. And even for me, it can grind you down from time to time. Because again, this is the world that we're in. There's no good news out there. None whatsoever. And when you get down to the bare bones of stuff, it's even worse, right? It's always kind of satanic rooted, to put it bluntly. So that's never pleasing on the eye. And I guess over time, constantly getting into it, covering it, it's got to take a toll on you, right? You've got to have thick skin. You've got to have the nose for it. And I've said that before to people here. It's not going to be for everyone. It simply won't be. Maybe it should come with a warning, right? Do not watch. Of course, then they would probably want to watch it. What is that called again? Reverse psychology. Not that I know very much about that, to be honest. Is Joni not a psychologist or studied psychology? I can't remember. Maybe she'll know. Interesting topic, that sort of stuff. I found it really interesting looking into the statement analysis to basically work out if people are deceiving you or not. And I mean, it's quite easy if you can watch a video and play it back and break it down. But I guess in real time, that might be a wee bit different. But again, body language comes into play and the use of certain vocabulary, I suppose. So we might get more into statement analysis. I kind of want to maybe even contact the expert, Peter Hyatt, because he does it privately. Of course, I would have to pay him money. Which is fine. It would be worth it. But there's one or two clips I've got in mind that might actually get analysed, and then we can break it down for ourselves, right? Don't worry, it's not anyone here. It's not anyone here, so you're all right. What's your thoughts on the Sound of Freedom? Is that the new movie that came out? Do you know this? I've not got round to it yet. I don't know. I'm unsure if I want to watch it. I probably will, given the circles that we're in. But I've not got round to it yet. People in the chat, probably they've watched it. If it is what I'm thinking you're talking about, maybe I'm completely wrong. Excuse me. There's a lot going on with the movie industry in Hollywood. I know that, and I've said this before, some people might not see it, but a great reset includes every single thing, every single thing you can think of, including Hollywood. There will be a birth of a new Hollywood, probably in the fucking metaverse, where there's no paedophile satanic actors, because that's all leaking out as well, and it's been gradual, let's face it. But it would appear to be coming to a head. Certainly coming to a head. And I think, what was it today? I did actually hear on the radio. I can't remember. What was the movie? It was an actor from the movie Spider-Man. He had said, look, I've had enough of Hollywood. It's not for me. It's not what people think, and it's not doing good things for people. Pretty much, I'm paraphrasing, but I overheard it on the radio today. And that was on the mainstream radio. So it's all kind of creeping out. And they'll reset Hollywood. That'll be included in this wondrous reset that we're currently in the midst of. Let's face it. The whole lot's going to come down. That's why I said this years ago, by the looks of it, it could come to a pivotal point. And at that point, it'll be all or nothing for us, possibly. It'll be like the chance to take the freedom back. Probably a short window that we miss. Although I'm unsure. I mean, I like to think that we're still here, we're still going, we're still fighting, we're not done. But we are in a serious battle, a serious war, with many battles, in fact. But we hang tight and we keep our heads high. We'll keep going. We won't bend. We won't break. And we won't live in fear. Not for one split second. No matter what they do. No matter what ET they drop on our roof. If we don't care. Yeah, I did see a video as well about someone who thought there was a shapeshifter on an aeroplane. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, you've got to kind of take it as not being true. I couldn't put any weight behind it, but it looked quite genuine. We might get into that in the future. I did notice the guy, David Icke, saying, well, there's going to be more of that. You're going to be seeing more of these shapeshifters coming out. They're coming out from under their rock now, right? Is the atmosphere being prepared for them? I shouldn't laugh, right? I know it's how, and I'm saying that I shouldn't laugh because I know how much people have mocked David Icke and other people for such a For example, the opinion that there's lizard people, and they might even get a mention tonight, funnily enough. And people laugh, of course, because it's funny, right? I mean, it's funny, let's face it. You'd expect to see it in a comedy. Oh, the guy turned into a lizard and scurried away under a rock when he got found out. I mean, it's like a comedy show. But there is a castle here that I've been to, and I've showed the photo of it. And there is a crest dating from, I think it might be the 12th century. Or maybe the 15th. I'd have to check, but a long time ago anyway. John might remember, actually. John Davidson. He might recall. I hope John's doing well. Our brother John. I hope you're getting better. But on this crest, there is indeed two massive reptilians on each side, then the crown in the middle on what is a triangle. So I don't know, did the royal family like reptiles for some reason? Maybe Ike is right about that. Of course, David Icke wasn't the first person to say that. There was many people beforehand. It was only David got onto TV, I guess, and ridiculed, which in a way, it kind of propelled him into the public eye. Because you would have had some people laughing at it and some people thinking, wait a minute, I've heard this before. Or maybe that guy who shapeshifted was a lizard. Is there anyone here who's seen a shapeshifter? Would a shapeshifter be an alien? Or would it be simply another would it be another Earth entity? Given that it's here on Earth, right? I know when it comes to a lot of David Icke's work as well, he talks about the aliens possibly coming from, I don't know, a different solar system. And I can remember looking into that a while ago and I couldn't quite buy it. Do you know when you start looking at is it Gaia? There's a channel called, I think it's Gaia. And there's different people. I think the guy David Cox, maybe Wilcox, I think. And they all talk about how there's different planets out there with races of aliens who have come to the Earth and they inhabit the Earth and they're inside the Earth. They're in us. They're in everything. They're in the juice. But I mean, it's all very fantastical, if that's a word. If not, it is now, right? It's like a fantasy land. None of it is based on anything in a way of evidence whatsoever. Pretty much hearsay. But a lot of people do believe it and think that there is probably races of aliens out there. For me personally, I can't see it. I can't see it myself. Simon is in the hood as well. Maybe one time we can get Simon on for a chat. Simon says, right? Alien, a lion. Yeah. Yeah. Neil A as well. Backwards, innit? Neil Armstrong. Just a coincidence, of course. It should be Edgar Mitchell. He's the guy that thinks there's aliens out there. And of course, Buzz Aldrin. But Buzz Aldrin will say anything these days. How old is Buzz now? He's like the last of them. I don't think there's many left. Of course, Bart Sibrel, who we interviewed twice, is probably... I think Bart met every one of the 11 astronauts who walked on the moon. I think he might be the only person to have done it. Surely not, right? Of course, that would be probably outside people working at NASA. But I think Bart potentially might have been one of the only people to interview all these astronauts who seemingly went to the moon. And the best one was the Buzz Aldrin interview. We're passengers on a flight. You should speak to NASA. What do we know? Oh man, that was absolute gold, that. And the guy Richard D. Hall said when Buzz Aldrin said that, it was pretty much an admission that they never went to the moon. And you could see when Bart Sibrel showed Buzz Aldrin the tape of them faking it, Buzz was like, oh shit. How the heck did this guy get this tape? And at one point as well, towards the end, Buzz Aldrin is saying, what's your name? Give me your card. He's wanting to get his info so he can take him out. Honest to God, that's what he's thinking in his mind. He's like, give me your card. I need to get this tape, right? He's gonna do a ninja style into his house that night and get the tape. And of course, Bart had said, well, the card's there. It's already in the package that I gave you. And he's like, right, okay. And away he goes. It's comical. I did show that the analysis of that interview before. So if you've not checked it out, you can certainly check it out. So it's all kind of alien space focused tonight, which is completely, I mean, talk about fantasy. Yikes. And it's got no end to it. It just goes on and on and on and on. Look at how many planets there are now. When I think in my mind, when I was growing up at school, there was about 8 planets. There was about 4 of them that I could remember. And that was it in my mind. Oh, that's the solar system, and that's it. But now, when I think in my mind through what the media say, oh no, there's more, and there's one over, and then look, there's one over there, and a billion, million, gazillion of them. There could be infinite galaxies now. As many as you want, take your pick. And it seems to be no end whatsoever to it. It's like this never-ending story. That is NASA in a nutshell, pretty much. Full of fairy tales and, of course, climate data. Let's not forget that, right? Climate data. So I'll show you a quick clip now of the guy Reagan. It's from the year 1987, which is, in fact, the year I was born. Shock horror. How old were you in 1987? Is anyone willing to share? Never a straight answer, indeed, Jim, over on Spacebook. Or, as I like to say, not a space agency, a climate company, at best, a fucking theatre company, another branch of Hollywood, right? Yeah. Every star is a potential planet. Yeah, I guess why not? Why not, right? When I look at stars, and I've kind of thought this since I was growing up, it looks like, I don't know, like lots of holes being put in a sheet and light shining through it. That's kind of what I think in my mind. It's like wee holes, wee black holes, maybe, I don't know, full of light, rather than this star-shaped entity that's a solid object of gas or whatever it may be. But I like looking at stars, and I've always done. And that is something that could be a thing of the past in the future, going by what they're talking about with the Starlink and OneWeb, all these sats that they're putting up their tiny wee drones, right? They're leaking radiation. They're saying, yeah, totally fine. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here. It's all about internet for the wee guy in Africa. He needs it. Forget about the water. Forget about the fucking food. Internet. Yeah. So all hail Elon Musk, right? Yeah, sure. And of course, look at the comedy show that we're in today. You've got Musk. He's going to fight the guy Zuckerberg. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, man. I'll tell you, I would like to fight both of them. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll fight them at the same time, right? There's a challenge for them both. I'll take them on. Of course, they would never fight any real person because they would get knocked the fuck out. That's why. But I guess the two robots could fight each other, right? And it's like, remember that the cartoon Celebrity Death Match where they fought each other to death? It came out maybe the early 2000s. It was only out for a year or two. And it was like I don't know, it was quite funny actually, to give it credit. I think Bill Gates had a fight in it as well with someone. I can't remember who. But I mean, it's comical. That's the world we're in. This is what people care about today. Musk fighting fucking Mark Zuckerberg. That's the big news today. I mean, look at the fucking state of the world that we're in. But no, the next big ticket, right? Yeah, the main event. I mean, honest to God. I hope they both knock each other out. I better not say what I was going to say, to be honest. I'll probably get arrested. But yeah, I put a challenge out there. I'll fight the winner. I'll fight the winner. And if they beat me, space is real. If I win, space is fake. Space is on the line, right? We'll put space on the line. Why not? What a world we're in today. So again, thank you very much to everyone for joining tonight. I'm going to play a wee video or two, and then we're going to look at an article or two, or three, or four, maybe actually about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yikes. About 8 articles. And do you know what? I've got a new screen that I've made on StreamYard, which will make no sense to most people. So you might have to bear with me at certain points while I completely mess it up in typical Talbanoki fashion, right? But hey, we're used to it. That's the way it is. That's the way we roll. So we'll look at the clip from Reagan. Yeah, Reagan, right? USA, USA.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
Right. So, what's alien? War is alien. Is that what he's saying? Is that what he's saying? War is aliens? What does he mean by it's already here? I'm unsure. Of course, people have said before, similar to what Reagan said, if we did get attacked, all our past grievances with each other would go out the window in a desperate bid to unite and defeat the enemy, E.T., right? Kinda group together as one world to fight the aliens from Mars attacks, right? Let's go with that. So that came out in 87. Now, like I said, I was born in 1987. So I can't really tell you what life was like in 1987. But some people here will know. But I'm going to take a guess and say that UFOs and the talk of aliens was not as big then as it is today. So we're seeing a clear increase throughout the years, speeding up now, speeding up, warp speed. They're good at that, right? They like the warp speed, remember? And I think in particular, this year alone, it'll be completely and utterly through the roof. Sky high, galaxy high. And when the situation that arose a few months back with the balloon, remember? The Chinese balloon. we done a live stream then, and going by what they were saying in the media, so-called UFO sightings were predicted to go through the roof this year. They already knew it was going to go through the roof, right? Of course they knew. It's in warp speed now. Is it the big reveal? Would the big reveal come as people think it's going to come? Or is it going to be this gradual process where they drill it right into everyone's heads to a point where you're sick of it? And hearing about alien life is just a common thing, common everyday thing. Because we're heading into that now. Especially if you look at the media and what's being said today and lately. If you went back 10 years ago, you're not going to have NASA talking about aliens. You're not going to have the US military talking about aliens and UFOs. You wouldn't. Fast forward to today, different story. Even the dog agrees. Ah, The Simpsons, yeah. Yeah, what have they not told us, right? Yeah. If you want to know the future, watch The Simpsons. That's what they say. So there is an article that came out today in relation to Mars. And it's quite I don't know, I'd imagine the alien world, the UFO circles will be saying, "Oh, this is it. We know now. NASA showed us, look, alien life. It must be. It has to be." Yeah. So we might jump there first of all. But I think first there is a big story that's been going about for a few days. And it's a story that has been, it's not a new story. It's been there in the background. And it's in relation to these metal or metallic spheres. Someone has lost their marbles. And no, it's not me, right? Sure, let's go with that. But there's these wee metallic spheres, cylinder balls or whatever they are, I don't know. And the claim is alien. It's E.T. The experts are saying it. It must be E.T. He's wearing a white jacket. You've got to take it. Although, where did they find these metallic spheres? Yep, they found them on Earth. So my guess would be they're from Earth. Shock horror. What they are, I'm unsure. Of course, we never get fed the truth. We can take that to the bank. So whatever they they tell us, you could probably guarantee it's not that. Right? That's, in my view, always worth remembering. Always take it with a pinch of salt, no matter what they tell you. Be on your guard, right? So they've been collecting these wee marbles, if you like. Maybe it's the Elgin marbles. Do people know about them? Maybe not. So I'll show you the video. Then what we'll do is we'll take a look at a few different articles of late in relation to all things extraterrestrial, right? So let me see if I can load it up and we'll play it now. It's, again, in relation to the metallic spheres. Yeah. Aliens, they say. Sure.
Are we alone in the universe? It's a question scientists have tried to answer for a long time, and we may be a step closer to answering that question. A team of Harvard researchers believe they have discovered fragments of alien technology. The pieces were from a meteor that landed in the ocean near Papua New Guinea back in 2014. But the team has a lot more debris to sort through in their research. Professor Avi Loeb led that team of researchers, and he joins me now for more. Professor, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start with what you found. What can you tell us about these spheres that you've recovered from the ocean floor?
Thanks for having me. These are metallic marbles that we identified through a microscope. So that's a new way of doing astronomy. Instead of looking for what's outside the solar system using telescopes, we were using microscopes. And we collected magnetic material from the ocean floor that is 2 kilometers deep. And first we put it in vials, as you see here. I just received some of the material by FedEx a few hours ago. And then we filtered out the tiny particles that are volcanic ash, and we were left with particles that are 0.5 millimeter in size. We look at them through the microscope, and we saw that they are spherical. These are called spherules, which are the melted droplets from the surface of the object, which moved too fast to be bound to the sun. It came from interstellar space. It's the first time that humans put their hands on material from a large object that entered the solar system from outside.
So I got two sets of questions. Let's stick first with the little marble objects. How do we know those mean anything more than just some combination of things that melted while it was zooming through space? Why is it possibly technology?
Based on the US government data, we inferred that the material strength of this meteorite was higher than all space rocks cataloged by NASA over the past decade, even iron meteorites. And the question is, what was it made of? And perhaps it formed in some natural environment that is different from a planetary system like the solar system, but perhaps also it is technological in origin. A spacecraft like Voyager, imagine Voyager 1 billion years from now going to interstellar space and colliding with a planet and burning up in the atmosphere of the planet as a meteor. That's a possibility. This object was moving faster than 95% of all stars in the vicinity of the sun. And so we decided to go out and check any leftovers from that meteor explosion, and we found it. So now we're planning to analyze it at Harvard University and figure out what it was made of.
And now the other question, which is, we don't exactly get things arriving from other solar systems that often, right? Help us understand how big a deal it is, and is that why it's called Interstellar Meteor 1? Because there isn't one before it.
Right. This is the first one identified by US government sensors, mostly satellites, and we didn't discover any such object before. It was more than half a meter in size and released a few percent of the energy output of the Hiroshima atomic bomb when it exploded 20 kilometers above the Pacific Ocean. And we were able to localize the path of the meteor. We found these spherules, droplets that were melted off its surface where we expected they were concentrated in that region. And the hope is that we can infer whether it was artificial in origin, because just imagine semiconductors being melted. The droplets will include a much higher abundance of rare elements that are not found in such concentrations in nature.
Professor Avi Loeb, fascinating. Good luck with your research from Harvard University. Thank you, Professor.
Thanks for having me.
So, yeah, must be A-lien, right? I mean, it's quite, I find it really funny how in the vastness of the ocean, they don't even know where the bottom is. They can't get to the bottom. They know nothing about it, basically. But yet, by miracle almost, they found these teeny weeny metal spheres that are of seemingly extraterrestrial origin. Sure. Now, if you believe that, you would believe anything. Honestly. But there you go. Of course, he put it under a microscope, as he called it. Quite rich coming from me mocking someone's speech, right? Sure. But he put it in a microscope. And yeah, it looks like it's from out of this world. Surely it must be, right? Although it's from Earth, seemingly. But maybe it came from space technology. So yeah, again, from Earth, likely. But the mass is, oh, it's alien, it's E.T. I just have to double check that we've still got audio. Maybe I'll have to jump into the chat. Typical, right? Can can someone let me know if we do indeed still have audio? That would help, right? We're still going at least. Justine's in the hood. Audio's good. Fantastic. We're all good in the hood. Thank you, Justine. And thank you, Wendy B. Great stuff. So, I'll take you now to... We're going to go first of all to, I think, maybe Wikipedia for the crack. So we're going to go there. As far as I remember. Where did it go? Go. Yeah. When do people think the first kind of talk about aliens came about? When does anyone here know when the first talk of extraterrestrial life was kind of spoken about in a kind of mainframe narrative? Maybe John will remember. Maybe Sensum might. He's old enough as well. Of course, John's not streaming now, currently at the moment, so Sensum is the next one down for the "you're old" target. So I'll have to give John a rest for the time being, right? So I'll show you now Wikipedia, if I can work it. What have I done? See, this is what I mean. You'll have to bear with me tonight. Yeah, I think it's working. Is that big enough? She said yeah, so we'll go with that. So we're all good. The audio's good. We're all good. We're streaming. Great. We will jump back into the chat. Am I going to need the audio? Possibly. Right. So, yep, we're good to go. I kind of want to make that bigger, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can while I'm here streaming. Oh, we've got Paige. Is it Paige? Or would it be Pelage? I'm terrible when it comes to to names. I'm sorry, but yeah, thank you for joining. Hopefully you can catch on the replay. Yeah, the guy was a Harvard scientist. Yeah, one of the white coats that you can totally trust him. Absolute devil, a devil in a white coat, if there ever was one. Oh, my brother Danny is in the hood, all the way from Inverness Shire, the land of the beast, the land of the monster, Loch Ness. Nessie, of course, right? Who definitely exists. Now, you might not believe that. If you believe the moon landing, you'll believe in Nessie, surely. Good to see Danny in the hood. A pleasure to have you here tonight, brother. I hope you're doing well. So yeah, goofs in space, yeah, the Jetsons. The Jetsons. See what was quite interesting as well is one of the guys on the Titan that imploded, seemingly. He was one of the people who seemingly flew into what they called space. And I guess we can't ask him about that anymore. And do you know this? I'm unsure what to make of the Titan incident. I kind of feel like part of me thinks that most of it never happened. And then part of me thinks these people got taken out deliberately for quite a few reasons, actually. Going by who they are, but not only that, going by what they were doing. Remember, the Titanic. Would the people behind the Titanic want anyone sniffing around? I don't think they would. I don't think they would. And I think now, because of what's happened, no one's going to be going back there. So I'm unsure what to make of it. We might get back into it in the future. I'm unsure. It depends if there's more to come out about it. But my first kind of gut feeling was they took the people out. It was too good of a chance. Pretty much similar to the Titanic. They could not pass it up. And of course, you're flying in the face of God by saying that you're unsinkable, undefeatable, unbeatable, unkillable. Do so at your peril, right? So yeah, again, and I kind of said, I can't remember where was I? I was on Sent Some stream, I think, where I kind of, and I know how people say, oh, it's a distraction, but the bottom line is, if the media have your attention, you're distracted. So anything they put out is a distraction. But with that said, they use the media to put through their agenda, pretty much, in short. The media is a gigantic tool in implementing the world that we're in. In my own personal view, as soon as you look at the TV, that's it, you're distracted. So I wouldn't put too much emphasis on it being a distraction. The whole lot is a distraction, let's face it. Again, look at what Jim Marrs said. The biggest conspiracy in the world is going on as we speak, but still people get on with their lives. We're too busy. And of course, he was referring to the fact that people are starving to death. There's homeless, there's murder, there's rape. I mean, it would be mind-blowing to think of all the evilness that occurs in the world that we're in today. I guess that's the way of it. So I do hear what you're saying there, Justine. But again, in my own view, as soon as the news have got your attention, you're distracted. There's never anything good on it. So let's face it, there's not. I've yet to see anything good on it. So I totally get what you're saying there, Justine. Bry is in the hood as well. Good to see Bry back again. Oh yeah, most certainly. Oh, definitely. If you look at the 9/11 incident, well, look at how they used the media. It was pretty much all the news outlets of the world beating the same drum. It was Bin Laden from a cave in Afghanistan, no Iraq, no Iran. No, wait a minute, we don't know. And of course, they went on a mad manhunt for Bin Laden. Of course, they couldn't find him, right? Yeah. Funny because most people in Pakistan knew where he was. Oh yeah, he stays there. But somehow they seemingly never went after him. I mean, when you look at the Bin Laden family, yikes. Clearly well involved with the American Secret Service, the CIA, Bin Laden construction. I'm surprised they never built the Twin Towers. Maybe they did. Wouldn't that be fitting, right? So, we'll jump out the chat. Excuse me. Oh, Nathan as well. Or is it Jason? I think. We'll go with Jason, right? Yeah, I mean, very dodgy as well, Bin Laden. When you look at the character itself. Very dodgy. You wouldn't know what to believe. But again, it's all part of keeping people confused. No one's ever going to get to the bottom of it. Rabbit hole after rabbit hole, right? Psyop in a psyop in a psyop. But yeah, I've came across quite a few bits in regards to Bin Laden, and is he even still around at the time going back, obviously? And of course, yeah, Osama, not Osama. Man. The other Osama, Obama, Barack Obama, he took him out with a sniper rifle, smoking a big doobie. Yeah, America. And then, of course, they chuck him in the water. Oh, yeah, no one gets to see it, though. No. You don't get to see it. Nope. No trial, no, nothing like that, right? No human rights. Nope, just in the ocean. Yeah. I mean, do people really buy that? I struggle to buy it, to be honest. I really do. I mean, why not take him across to America and give him the justice, give people the justice they probably deserved. Let these people look him in the face, right? Oh no, none of that. Quite funny, actually, because they're good at doing that. Oh, you don't get to see it, right? The International Space Station, which by their own words is not in space, it's in low Earth orbit, seemingly. And some people don't even know that still. I think I had someone last week asking, oh, the ISS is in space. No, it's not in space, not even by their own admission. And even the guy Tyson said that like it was breaking news. Well, hello. We know it's not space, but of course they call it space. The space station. It's in space. No, it's not. Straight off the bat, complete and utter deception with what people think is space and not space. Even the NASA faithful don't even get it, which is quite comical. It shows you how far these people look. They don't look at all. They just go with whatever they're told by the mainstream narrative. Because going by the mainstream, I could see why someone might think, oh, the ISS is in space. But if you actually look into it, it won't take you long to see that it's not in space. And to finish off with what I was getting at, the ISS is seemingly on a time frame where it's going to go pop and come all the way back down to Earth. Right? Hooray, they said. Let's collect it, they say. We can put it in the museum, give it a nice place of pride and glory. Well, no. No one will be seeing anything that is connected or related to the International Space Station. It will simply burn up, explode, and fall into the space cemetery that is indeed Point Nemo, where no one can go, no one can visit, and no one can see. Great, right? But hey, you take their word for it. Take their word for it, right? I mean, you would think they would want to get even a tiny wee bit if they can find a teeny wee spheric metallic sphere in the sea. But they can't get a tiny piece of this gigantic space station to then put it in a museum. No, that's not happening. Nope. Shock horror, right? They'll probably get a model of it and put it in the museum. There you go. That's it. Or by that time, it'll be a hologram. Boom. And that'll pretty much say it all, to be honest. I mean, I don't buy it personally, I don't buy the space station is even in orbit. And I know some people think it is, which is fine. I'm not going to argue with anyone. For me personally, it's not. And I know people have said, well, how are they floating in this, that? Look, there's ways and means, right? So we'll jump back to, good to see Jason. Hasdak in the hood as well. Good to see Hasdak. We'll jump back to, yeah, we destroyed the evidence. We destroyed the technology. And remember NASA. Oh, man. Remember NASA, they burnt, well, they binned a lot of the tapes they recorded footage on. Or just binned it like it was nothing. Yeah, destroying the evidence, probably. And they're good at that, right? And they're very good at that. So good to see Hasdak in the hood. So we'll jump out of the chat for the time being. And we'll get back to it. I need to jump across to this. Oh, what screen is it? Here we go. So, E.T. in fiction. You know, the fiction world. The world that doesn't exist, right? Let's go with that. And fiction it really intrigues me, to be honest. It really does. To an extent where we might do a live stream on it. And it intrigues me because we seem to get a lot of stuff that will appear in fiction in a novel, let's say, or a movie today, maybe. And it would be, I guess, unheard of to the average Joe. Not normal. So classed as not true fiction. Right? Now, from some of the stuff that I looked back on in regards to fiction, going back to, I'm kind of guessing, but I'm sure it was in the mid 18th century. Sometime in the 18th century, I'm sure. Where the subject of psychopaths or psychopathy, I think is the word. It was only in fiction. It wasn't in the real world. Or what, at least what we call the real world. It was in the novels, right? The fictional books. Yeah, a crazy, crazed, mad, psycho. But they ain't in fucking novels today. They're everywhere today. And I shouldn't laugh at that, but they are, let's face it. I mean, the world's practically run by these psycho entities. But even today, they're talking about how, I can't remember the name of the company, but they're talking about a new rocket that they're going to build. Yay! They're going to build this mad rocket, and it's going to travel at such a speed that it's unimaginable. And of course, AI is going to play a part. And it's going to heat up to such an extent that it'll be it'll be hotter than the sun. Yikes. But they then also go on to say, it may sound familiar because it's similar to technology or travel that got used in the fiction, in the sci-fi fiction, Star Trek. Of course it did. Shock. Horror. Again, we see fiction, what was deemed fiction in a novel world, in the theatrical world, mirrors into the real world. And if you go back 10 years from now, you had what they called climate fiction, which some people don't even know about, where they talk about geoengineering, spraying the sky. Yeah, for net zero, hooray! And they talk about unintended consequences. Yeah. Fucking extreme drought, extreme flooding, the term termination shock. Now, will we see in time to come again the fiction theatrical world mirror into the real reality? I bloody hope not. I bloody hope not. Because if it does, that will not be good. It simply won't be. And of course, again, when it comes to fiction, you've got E.T. Yeah, the extraterrestrial little green men. And they reckon the sort of first talk about E.T. life from another world at least in novels and books or whatever it may be, is around 1956, which is not really that long ago when you think about it. But I want to show you as well. So they talk about 1956, right? Is the first kind of talk of E.T. But they say this was during a golden age of science fiction. Hooray! So that's when it all kind of started to come out. But it also says here, extraterrestrials are a common theme in modern science fiction and also appeared in much earlier works, such as the second century parody True History by Lucian of Samosala. Let's go with that. Lucifer of Samosala, which is pretty much what it says to me. So we're talking here quite a bit back then. Second century parody True History. Which if we go to that, now I have to work it. One of these days I'll get it right. I should have just clicked on it actually. Oh, why did it do that? Black screen. Man. I'll show you this article on True History. I mean, it's all very coincidental, right? True History, right? That certainly raised an eyebrow. Where is it? There is it. So, True History. This is not yesterday, right? 1894. Well, that's when that illustration's from. 2nd century CE. Um, 1894, William Strang, depicting a battle scene from the book One of Lucian of Samosala's, a true story. A true story. Weird looking spiders, right? Check that one with the symbology. Creepy little bugger, him. Quick, kill it! All the webs as well. Interesting, right? They look a bit like Roman soldiers almost. What are they wearing? Crop tops. What have they got on, man? Interesting that. We might get back to that. Past the Pillars of Hercules, yeah. The novel begins with an explanation that the story is not at all, quote, true, close quote. Yeah, you've got to tell them that, right? And then go on to scare the life out of them. Giant spider! And that everything in it is a complete and utter lie. The narrative begins with Lucian and his fellow travelers. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. The narrative begins with Lucian and his fellow travelers, Freemasons, journeying out past the Pillars of Hercules. Yeah. Interesting, right? The guy was seemingly quite the comedian. Had a bit of satire about him. Yeah. Interesting character. So he liked satire and basically coined science fiction by the looks of it. And clearly a man in the circles, right? That's what Freemasons call each other, travelers. Not like a gypsy traveler. And when you're talking about beyond the pillars, yeah, it's pretty clear. Without even looking too much into the guy, it's pretty clear. The typical science fiction themes that appear in true stories are the following. Travel to outer space. Hooray! Yeah, that one's definitely a lie. I'll give him that, right? I'll give him that one. But he's putting it out there. It's really interesting what they've done here. Encounter with alien life forms, including the experience of a first contact event. Dun, dun, dun. Interplanetary warfare and imperialism. The colonization of planets. Right. Yeah. We heard that before. Who did we hear that from? The guy Von Braun. Von Braun. We will colonize Mars by 1980. Fuck it, they're buying it. Oh, and we'll keep it going. We'll colonize galaxies by the year 2000. Trust me, I'm a scientist. Should I tell him or will you? Maybe he knows, right? Maybe he already knows. Good old Von Braun. So the colonization of planets, artificial atmosphere. Would I put that down as a lie or not? I don't know about that one. I think we are now pretty much living in an artificial atmosphere. Again, did the fiction world mirror into the real world? What are they doing to the atmosphere? What's it all about? Liquid air. What? Liquid air? Is that not water? Surely that's water, right? That's got to be water. I think we've got water today. Motif of giganticism. Right, which of course is in relation to the giant. Look at how big that dude is. Yikes. I mean, I've seen people today and thought, bloody hell. He is huge. So the giants is one where I kind of think, yeah, there would have been. I think there was a race of giants. And I remember when we looked into the Rockefellers, who was it? John D. Rockefeller. He bought a house on Jekyll Island, and he bought it he built it. He bought the land, and he built a house on a plot of land that was sacred to ancient Indians from that area, who were seemingly also a race of giants. But they didn't sound like very good people, to be fair, because when there's a artist impression, I think, or a painting in relation to scriptures from it, or ancient writings, and there's an altar where they sacrifice children. And of course, John D being John D, that's where he built his house. True story. It's all there. You can visit. You can visit it today. So, I mean, why did they choose Jekyll Island? I find it quite fascinating. It's one that we probably will get into again. And of course, on Jekyll Island, in that exact house that I'm talking about, is where they started the Federal Reserve after the Titanic sunk. It all went down on this evil island. And I remember in my mind before that point, I kind of seen ancient Indians as good people after finding out that they probably sacrificed children. Maybe not so good after all, right? Although, I mean, yeah, when you go back in time, they were all sacrificing at one point or another to a stomach turning extent. But I think the Rockefellers we could be due another Rockefeller stream. Maybe next week, right? So does anyone here think giants are real? Does anyone here think that giants are still about today? Let me jump back and have a look. Giants real? Yes or no? I know there's a lot of tall people about today, but I think they might have been wiped out. I don't know. There's a story in relation to bones that got found and seemingly handed into the Smithsonian Museum, but they went missing. So that's got to raise an eyebrow, right? Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I always want to know who was it von Braun's idea to put it there. Surely it was, right? But the question is why? What was he trying to say? Was it maybe an admission that no, you can't leave the Earth? Even if you think you're a rocket scientist, you're not going anywhere. And yeah, it's an interesting one. And of course, it's got 9/11 in it as well, which adds to the interest, if you like. Some people don't know about that with von Braun's grave. I think Bart Sibrel, it was me who told Bart, if I remember correctly. I don't think Bart knew. But I think most people know now today. And it certainly it adds a lot more questions to what von Braun was about. Certainly. Justine, the giants were real. Still Nephilim around. Many say they are about to return. Well, I better get out of the way then, right? Poof, poof, poof. Like Jack and the Beanstalk. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be messing with a giant. How tall do people think they were? In my mind, I kind of think maybe about 10 feet tall, 12 feet tall, maybe. I can't see them being like the height of a building or anything like that. I always tend to think, what happened? Where did they go? Did they have enough of the world? Right, we're away, these wee buggers, man. They're annoying. We're away underground into the hollow earth with the the Gaia creatures. Who knows, right? Yeah, do you know what? I think I'll join them, to be honest. Fuck it. I'll join them. I'll say, hey, I'll be a giant with you. Why not? Let's go. Where are we going now? I've had enough anyway, so yeah, I think I'll just join them. I don't know if I'll get away with it, to be honest. I'm only 6'2". I will show you a skeleton I found. Its eyes is 9 meters across. What? A human skeleton or a whale, maybe. I mean, that's quite big, that, right? Its mouth is 16 meters. Huh. I mean, I've met a lot of big-mouthed people in my time, but I mean, that would be quite staggering, that, right? What sort of height would you be then? I mean, that I can't even think what height you would be. About what, 30 feet tall? In my mind, I kind of think maybe, yeah, maybe 9 to 11 feet, which would still be, it would be big, right? 10 feet. Yeah. I guess people would say, well, they would still be here, or we would find more bones, similar to, I guess, what we say about the dinosaurs, right? It's always very murky. You can never trust any of it. It would be good to go out on an archaeological holiday, if you like, and do a bit of digging, literal digging, see what you can find, right? I mean, Scotland's ancient. I probably wouldn't have to go far. Just borrow a digger. And away we go, right? We'll get to Australia yet. Yeah. Yeah, well, I do recall was the doors they had were gigantic, right? At some of these temples. Is that left over from times of giants? Because why is the door so big? What would be the point? They weren't very sustainable if that was the case. I mean, surely they wouldn't have to make it so big unless they had to. And I mean, if they were as gigantic as that, they probably had no problem building the pyramid, right? Easy to them guys. I mean, that would be some size, that. I think the giants is one we could get into, to be fair. I think it could be quite a good topic. A bit different, not quite satanic. Although we'll probably we'll probably find that it's satanic rooted. Shock horror. 600 meters off the coast with the other megafauna that died 10,000 years ago. Is that the dinosaur that you're referring to? I think that was in the UK. I think most of them, when it comes to bones, are from the UK. I could be wrong. I think there is a place in America, but I don't think there's many. Maybe not as many as you might think there should be. I can remember being a young lad and hoping one day to find a dinosaur bone. Even like digging around and finding an old china plate, a broken bit of china, Did anyone ever find that digging around as a young guy or girl and think, yay, treasure? One day I'm going to find a dinosaur bone. I'll let you know when I do, right? Not quite yet, but maybe one day. I guess I've got to keep digging. The Earth, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different debate in regards to the age of the Earth, which I find very interesting. Again, I think we're probably all wrong. I think that'll be the bottom line, is that we're all wrong. I mean, I struggle to believe the NASA data that we get, especially when it continues to change all the time. Oh, it's older, younger than previously thought. Of course, it's got the syndrome, right? Anything that comes to space is usually got the syndrome, the unpreviously thought syndrome. And when it's got the syndrome, you've got to take it with a lot of caution. In my own view, it points to the narrative being a manipulated narrative, likely not true. And we probably will expand on that just now. Of course, carbon dating, yeah, it's nonsense. It's quite funny when you look into it. It's like, wait a minute, so it's pretty much guess then. It's a guess. Yeah, we can't carbon date stuff, but we can carbon date stuff around it, which gives us an idea, and we put it into the super duper computer and under a microscope. Voila! And of course, they're talking about stuff they're finding here on Earth that somehow proves there's life outside of Earth. Sure. So it's not going to be like, oh, the aliens have arrived. What they're going to say is, oh, they're already here. We just did not know. Maybe what Reagan was saying, right? So we'll jump from too many tabs going on. I'm on the wrong one. Bugger. I should have them in order. It's got a wee blue box on it. Man, I'm going to have to take this jumper off. Wait a sec. Bloody climate change. Typical, right? All that driving to work. Oh, man. I might even take my t-shirt off. It's all right. No one's going to see. It's fine. Sitting here half naked. Man. Bloody warm. There we go. That's better. I remember my late father. He used to embarrass me. Something chronic. He would pretty much strip down to shorts, no shoes, no socks, nothing, and think that he can walk about the shops in Uptown wearing next to nothing, man. I used to think, oh, no. Embarrassing, right? But there you go. That's what parents do. I'm sure I do that to my son today. Although I'm not walking about in my shorts with no shoes on. That's for sure. I'm not quite there yet anyway. So what else are they talking about? Creatures as products of human technology. Worlds working by a set of alternate physical laws. Interesting. Right. Explicit desire of the protagonist for exploration and adventure. A middle position seems to be taken up by critic Kingsley Amis? Kingsley Amis, we'll go with that, who acknowledged The science fiction and satirical character of true stories at the same time. I merely remark that I can't say it. Sprinkliness and sophistication of true history make it read like a joke, and the expense of nearly all early modern science fiction that's written between, say, 1910 and 1940. Of course, the golden age of science fiction. Yeah. Put across as a joke, right? All of the above put across as a joke. Outer space travel, the colonization of planets, artificial atmosphere, liquid air, giants, creatures as products, yeah. Worlds working by a set of alternate physical laws. An upside down world, a mirrored world, where everyone walks upside down, right? Sure, let's go with that. So I'll take you now. Speaking of the syndrome, now I can get rid of that one. Actually, we won't go there just yet. Because when it comes to novels, books, there's an extensive amount of science fiction. Older than the hills, basically. Way back to Adam and Eve, practically. But of course, as you move on in time, it's not all about the book, right? It's the movies, the television, the television, the television, maybe. The Black Mirror, yeah. One in every room, every house in the world. I mean, I can remember growing up and not being the best of sort of wealthness. And I knew other people who struggled with money, but they always had a TV. Might not have food on the table, but they've got a TV. Yeah. Usually the latest TV as well. Super duper 50 million K. Super ultra beams into your brain vision. Look out for it. She didn't laugh. That's not far around the corner. I remember reading about technology that could potentially beam an advert into your brain while you sleep. Yeah. I mean, how true that is, I'm unsure. But it's the kind of creepy fucking thing they would do, right? People are thinking, wait a minute, what was that weird dream I had? 7-Up. I was drinking 7-Up, yeah. A can of Coke. Woke up needing a drink of Coke, right? Of course, Coke is disgusting anyway. I'm unsure how people can even drink it. It's all coming out now with Coca-Cola and the different ingredients, and people don't even care. They don't. They just don't. They don't care. I think a lot of people are past caring now. They just want to get on with their life. No matter what's said or done, they're sick of the whole bloody agenda. The whole beast system. So I'll take you to... How many movies do you think there is that involve extraterrestrial life? Anyone wanting to take a stab at that? Someone give me a figure on it. How many do you think there are? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100? 1,000, says Hasdak. I'm not sure if it's 1,000. You've kind of ruined it now by saying 1,000, right? Because it's only from the list I've got, there's just over 500, which is, I mean, that's a lot, right? That is a lot. But you ruined it by saying 1,000. You was meant to go low. You was meant to go low. Then I would say, no, actually, not 100, over 500, right? But yeah, I mean, 1,000, you could you could see that being the case. I guess if you add all the books and the comics, yeah, we'll go with that. So we'll jump over to. I need to get used to working this, which will take me about 4 years. So hang in there, right? 4 years later, nope, still none the wiser. Man, we know that to be the case. Where is it? Where is it now? Why can I not see it? God's sake. Ah, there we go. There she goes. So you can see there they've listed over 500 movies or films featuring extraterrestrial. E.T. Phone Home. So quite a lot. What movie in particular do people think of when they hear the word aliens or E.T.? It's got to be aliens or E.T., right? Does anyone think of any other movies apart from E.T. or Alien? I think they're the obvious ones. I wasn't a big fan of Alien. I could never really get into it. E.T., nope, I wasn't a fan of that either, to be honest. If I ever watched it, I would have watched it because it was the only thing that was on, or the only DVD that was there. But I'm unsure if, I mean, Space Odyssey certainly comes to mind. Fire in the Sky over on Facebook. Jim, good to see Jim still with us. Holding the line over there on Facebook. Good man, Jim. Fire in the Sky, I don't think I've seen it, to be honest. Artem, are we going with that? Independence Day, yeah, right enough. Definitely seen that. Yeah, the real alien invasion is at the US southern border. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, we know that I shouldn't laugh, but we've got a similar situation in the UK. And it is a bit like a invasion, an alien invasion. And it's not the little green men. So I hear you there, Smith. Good to have you tonight, Smith W. Agent 6079. Is that Agent Stan Smith from American Dad? Oh, new to the channel. Great stuff. I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to engage. Check out the content. I've got the original channel as well. So we're on the kind of backup channel tonight, but you'll find it in the description. And you can go to the website or the original channel, right? So good to see a new face in the hood. Fantastic. Any other Predator? Yeah, Predator. Again, a kind of film that I couldn't really get into, but I did watch it quite a few times. I don't know. It's all this. I don't know. I could never quite get into sci-fi. I was never into Star Trek or Star Wars or anything like that. Which is interesting because through my teens, I did have at least a thirst to find out more about the universe we're in, i.e., space and planets and solar systems. I can remember watching. I can remember watching a series by Brian Cox called "The Wonders of the Solar System." Yikes! If you ever want to see a fantasy, watch that. Honest to God, man. It is so comical. You'll get a laugh from it anyway. Is there any other ones that I missed? We will jump back to the chat. War of the Worlds, yeah. Is that the one they put out on the radio? And everyone thought there was an invasion. John might remember that, or Sensum might remember. People started tuning into the radio, and they were reading out a story about an alien invasion, and people thought it was real. It must be real. It's on the radio. A bit like 9/11. Well, I seen it on the TV. Yeah. A bit like the moon landing. Seen it on the telly, right? Yeah. Heard it on the radio. It must be true. Quite comical when you think about it. Avatar. I think there's a second one coming out. I think it might be this year or next year. In fact, I think there's a new Alien movie coming out. I would have to check, but I think there could be. We'll jump back to the chat in a sec. Predator, like what Obama is. He's yeah, with Barack Obama. Yep. Yeah, the fraudulent prime minister. I guess they're all fraudulent. Let's face it. But remember, they came out and said, "Look, Obama's got a fake fraudulent birth certificate," and no one even cared. I mean, I find it comical that people did not even. Oh, but yeah, he's a great president. Look how cool he is. He's shooting hoops now. Wow. Yeah. We'll just forget that he's a fraudulent birth certificate then. In the media, it came out in the media to an extent, and then they buried it and tried to discredit the two sheriffs who both independently checked it over. And from what I can remember, they found at least 9 different points of fraudulent activity on Barack Obama's birth certificate. It's a fake. Talk about an alien, right? I mean, what is the guy? What is he or her or it, right? Well, that's not even getting into his husband, of course. So we'll jump back. Oh, Sholin's in the hood as well. Good to see Sholand back again. Yeah, Big Mike. Yeah. I mean, fuck. Oh, man. It's comical, right? If you don't laugh, you'll cry. I mean, I wouldn't even mess with Barack Obama's wife, husband. That should be in a UFC cage fight. Oh man, maybe that'll be next. Elon Musk against Michael Obama in the octagon, fighting it out. The two transgenders, or maybe it'll be Michael Obama against one of the Williams brothers, the two tennis players. I mean, they've got to be guys, them, right? I mean, they're too good at tennis. Come on. They can't be women. Surely not. Maybe they're just more manly than they would like to be. We'll go with that, right? We'll be kind tonight. Yeah, exactly. Celebrity deathmatch. Exactly that. That's the world we're in today. Talk about a theatre, right? We are here. So we'll jump back and have a quick look at this list. You might recall ones that you've watched in the past. The year. Yeah, so there's, I mean, we can't go through them all. There's 500 odd. But it's like every year, I guess, there's at least 1 or 2 or 3 different films coming out that would point to ET and extraterrestrial life. So if you take away the movies and if you take away the books, what have you got? Nothing. Exactly. Boringness, right? We'll go with that. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Huh. 2016. Cloverfield Lane. Yeah. Not Clovis Field. Because that would have been interesting. Because Clovis is what Cannon Air Force used to be called. Clovis Air Force Base in New Mexico. And we all know that New Mexico is where the moon is at. Or was, at least, in the 1960s. It might not be there anymore. It'll be in another studio somewhere. 20 million miles to Earth. I think 2001, A Space Odyssey is well known, especially because it's by Kubrick. 1951. It was inspired by... so it wasn't actually Kubrick then. It was I never even... It shows you how much I know. It shows you how much I know. I thought Kubrick, it was inspired by a novel. Of course it was. When is it not, right? The Sentinel. Why does that ring a bell? Have we looked into that before? Get him off! He knows nothing. Do you know this? We've covered that much. I think we might have to go back to that. From what I can recall, I thought it was Kubrick, but there you go. He's adapted it, stole it. Interesting. Nothing new under the sun, right? Nothing new under the sun whatsoever. The fifth wave, that can't be about the you know what. The fifth wave, we're still waiting on the first wave, but there you go. So yeah, Alien. How many Alien movies did they put out? Alien, Alien 2, On Earth, Alien 3, Alien Abduction, Alien Abduction, Alien Abduction, Incident in Lake County. Is that the same franchise? I think it is. Wow, they put out quite a bit then, right? Wow, Alien Nation. Is that what the franchise is called? Or just Alien? I mean, it's unbelievable, the amount. Staggering, really. Aliens in the Attic. Aliens v Avatars. I mean, most of these movies, no one's probably ever heard of, let's face it. Staggering, right? Year after year. Apollo 18. 2011. I've not seen that. I went to see one of the Apollos at the cinema with a guy, Tim Honks. You know the guy Tom Hanks, even? From Forrest Gump. I couldn't remember what it was called. From Forrest Gump, right? Area 51, of course, yeah. Mm-hmm. Need to get that out there. Area Q. Right. Area Q. Interesting. Attack of the 50-foot woman. Fucking hell. Ah, look out. She's coming to crush all the men. Damn you, men. Ah. It's what women always wanted. I wish it was 50 feet so I could crush all these men. Los Astronauts. Oh, man. Is that in New Mexico? I wonder. Interesting. Yeah. Attack of the 50-foot woman. Yikes. I feel like I want to watch it. Has anybody seen it? Oh, man. That's Joni. Robert. I don't know if Joni's 50 foot, to be fair. She could be. You would never know. She could be that beautiful, though. We'll give her that. 1958. And then again, recycled by the looks of it in 1993 for the TV series. There she is again. She's a wee bit different looking this time. She's picked up some guy in the car. This is what you get for standing me up. Shaking it about. I'll get you yet. Oh, man. I'm going to have to watch it. Don't worry, we're not going to watch it right now. Oh, man. Yeah, that's funny, right? The astronaut's wife. Yeah, the astronaut's wives are interesting as well. Johnny Depp. 1999. Anybody seen this one? Again, this is one I might want to check out. When you look at interviews with the wives of the astronauts, they're quite telling. Very telling, actually. Which is maybe why they never done many interviews. Right, Avatar. Gigantic film, that, right? I mean, how big was it? I think possibly one of the biggest films ever. And again, Alien E.T. orientated. Out of this world orientated. I mean, it is huge. It was massive. I'm sure it's like one of the biggest films ever. And it's continuing to go on and on and on and on. Pushing it and pushing it. Almost making people want it to be real, right? They want to be in it. Submersed in the world of Avatar. Yikes. Babylon 5. How many Babylon 5s is there? Third Space, The River of Souls. The Lost Tales, The Legend of the Rangers, In the Beginning, The Gathering, A Call to Arms. Right through as well, from early 90s, right through 2007. Pushing the alien narrative. Batman v Superman, even into the comic world, it's intertwined. Bill and Ted, that was a classic, right? Avatar is a documentary. Interesting shout. That one. Showland. Yeah, Bill and Ted was great. I liked it. Excellent. I thought it was good. 1991, swear that's when it came out. Was it? No, 1989 maybe. No. Oh yeah, the sequel is The Bogus Journey. The first one came out in 89. I think it was the 1991 one that I can remember. I thought it was quite cool. I've not seen it in years, come to think of it. The Blob. Has anyone seen that? I watched it once. It's a terrible film. I don't think I even managed to watch it all. Creepy, weird film from the 50s. Body Snatchers. Again, based on novel. And it's funny how it moves from novel fiction to movie fiction, keeping it going. The same narrative, the same story, just wrapped in a different way or put across in different form. I mean, it goes on forever, right? We'd be here for quite a while. There is, like I said, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these movies pushing. E.T. We'll go with that. I was a zombie for the FBI in 1982. Fucking hell. Oh, man. Science fiction, yeah. Black and white. I was a zombie for the FBI. That's got to be a comedy, that, right? Nah, just science fiction, not even a comedy. Why is that not funny? Oh, man. Some of these names crack me up. We'll jump out of here for the time being. It goes on and on. Movies in particular is a topic that there could potentially be a series of live streams on. And it would be a wee bit different and a bit more not so, the world's going to end. Although we'll probably get to that point. We'll get to that point, right? Give it time. It's only a matter of time. But that is, I'm unsure at the moment how we're going to go about it. But you are pre-warned that there could be a show in relation to different movies that are about today and have been about in the past. And of course, Mars Attacks, yeah, is the clip that I played at the very beginning. So if you've not seen it, you'll have to go back and watch it right now. No, not right now. So we'll jump from the movies for the time being. Let me see if I can screen share. We might have to take a musical break. We'll go with that. So I'll put the screen on. We've went 2.5 hours, and I don't even think we're halfway. Time waits for no man, right? We know that. So let me see if I can share it. We might play a tune. Hey, it's no biggie, right? Don't shout. I know. It's getting late. I know. Yep. I can read the time. So I'll see if I can find it. It was going to be the independent one, and it's basically syndrome related. Shock horror. Of course, the whole space narrative has got the syndrome. Big time. It's riddled with the syndrome. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Bugger. No. It's on the bloody tip of my tongue. It's terminal. That's it. We got there. It's terminal with the syndrome. Man. Happy days. I can sleep easy now. So we'll get into this. in a sec. There's a wee bit to cover still. Shock horror. We'll get back to it, and hopefully, my wife doesn't beat me up, right? So let me see if I can quickly find a video that is worth playing. It's going to start being a bugger, isn't it? Speaking of movies, we'll play this one. And this, I guess, is your chance to get a beer or grab the bong or I don't know, whatever it may be, a cup of coffee, right? That's probably probably what I'm going to get. We'll go with that. So, I will catch you, and you better be there. Don't have me waiting, because I will wait. And I will catch you in about 4 minutes' time. All right?
The future teaches you to be alone. The present should be our freedom comes. So if I can't you rabbits, then I can't you fascists. Bullets fire brain today, but we'll forget it all again. Monuments put from pen to paper turns me into a godless wonder. And if you tolerate this, then your children will be next. If you tolerate this, then your children will be next. We'll be next. We'll be next. We'll be next. Gravity keeps my head down. Or is it maybe shame at being so young and being so bad? And who's in your head today? But I'm a pacifist. I've walked the ramblers, but not with real intent. Yeah, and if you tolerate this, then your children will be next. If you tolerate this, then your children will be next. We'll be next. We'll be next. We'll be next. Tonight, an omen plays, where newspaper carries of his glory tears. Yeah, and if you tolerate this, then your children will be next. If you tolerate this, then your children
we go. We're back in the room. Voila. Like magic, right? Back again. So, there we go. If you tolerate this, your children will be next. Indeed. Indeed. And of course, that came out when? 1998, I think. And of course, yeah, a lot of these celebrities and entities, musicians and so forth, were nothing but a complete letdown when it came to rolling out the tyranny. But it shouldn't come as a surprise, really. Let's face it. But good to see Spanish chicken in the hood. And speaking of chicken, I think Jack Russell is in the hood and is also chopping up chicken. So, do you know this? I hate chopping chicken. Oh man, I just can't. I hate touching it for some reason. I hate it. Honestly, I always try and get my wife to cut the chicken because I can't. I don't know what it is. There's certain things and that I don't like touching them. Certain plastics as well. It's a weird like phobia. It's a really rare, weird, fucking messed up phobia where I just can't. I can't do it. It's only like certain types of plastic. It's really strange. I mean, I can bear it, but it's a bit like, oh no, I don't like it. But chicken is a similar one where I just can't. I have to wash my hands immediately. I can't be cutting it and cutting it. And I used to, when I worked in catering, I used to have to put gloves on. And even then, I just, no, it wasn't for me. But I do enjoy cooking, I must admit. So hopefully, you're cooking a lovely meal for everyone. Thank you, Jack Russell, in advance. So yeah, haggis. You can't whack the haggis. You kind of whack it. So, like I said, getting back to it, I've got about 20 minutes or so. We're going way over time tonight. Shocking, right? Press ups for everyone. Press ups for me, especially. So this came out. It's came out this week, and it's like been everywhere. It's all over the place. Every article, every outlet. People have to know. So they're pumping it big time, right? They're throwing it in everyone's face. And like I did say, it is, of course, the syndrome. It's struck again. Shock horror. Who defunked it? Wait a minute. We defunked it. Yeah, we certainly did defunct it. Chance of finding water and ET alien life on other planets much greater than, yep, you guessed it, previously thought. Shock horror. Study finds. All the white coats have found it. And this is indeed one that we predicted about 3 years ago to a T. And here it is now. Voila. Shock horror, right? We should have put bets on. We should have put bets on at the bookies. We would have been millionaires by now. I can assure you, we would have been. Seemingly, we are 100 times more likely to find liquid water than we thought. Is this the liquid air they talked about? We've discovered liquid air, like in the fiction novel from the 2nd century. Shock horror, right? I mean, are people actually buying this? Surely not. But seemingly, I mean, when you see an article like this, or if someone said to you in the street, look, it's just came out in the media that we're 100 times more likely to find alien life, you'd probably immediately think, well, what did they find in outer space? Well, nothing. They didn't find anything in outer space. Shock horror. But even with that, still alien life is what they point to. So what are they talking about? Well, they're talking about new analysis. I hope it's not that petrified wood from the moon that they've got. Well, I don't think it's that. What have I done? So if I take you to the meat of it, pretty much. Where is it? Typical, right? So yeah, it's came from new analysis, which came out of computer modeling. As we can see, why is it doing that? Is it this stupid bloody video? What the hell is it anyway? It's about the Mars rover. But apart from that, we might watch that video and see what it is. It's only a minute or two. So they've not found anything. They've just looked again at something and came up with a completely new equation. And that's why I said earlier on, it's going to be already here. The information they give us, the great deception, it's going to be like, oh, it was here all along. It's not going to be like Mars attacks where they all come and shoot everyone. Then they all die because of the granny's music. maybe that's what it will be like. Who knows, right? Let me see. Can we have a look? What are they saying? This is the fake Martian surface called Mars here on Earth. And I did make a video on it last week, I think, called Mars Attacks. No, not Mars Attacks. Bugger. Frick. Oh, for God's sake. What was it? Total Recall. That's what it was called. Mars on Earth. We got there. We got there in the end, right? Let's see what these bloody criminals are saying here. Have we got the volume?
Pick to live and work together and have their lives studied. Not on a real world, but a simulated one.
Our is go with you as you adventure of discovery.
These 4 explorers are headed to Mars. Faithfully recreated inside a hangar at the Johnson Space Center in Houston. Their 1,700 square foot fake Mars base built by a giant 3D printer. The mission, called the Crew Health and Performance Exploration Analog, or CHAPEA, will simulate what it might be like to live and work on Mars in close quarters, facing challenges like equipment failures, communication problems, and the psychological stress of isolation. They'll be away from friends and family for an entire year.
We couldn't be here without your love and support. Sorry.
Oh my God. Yikes. Fuck's sake.
To my wife and kids, I love you, the moon. I'm sorry, Mars, and back.
The crew members are not astronauts, but were picked from applications sent in by the general public. They are research scientists, medical doctors, and engineers.
It is an amazing group of dedicated individuals who feel very passionate about space exploration and science.
Fake Mars will also allow the crew to put on spacesuits and head out of this airlock into a simulated Mars landscape, an area they call the sandbox.
1 year from now, when they come out with great success, we will all be here waiting.
This mission is the first of 3, as NASA looks forward to the day when humans finally return to the moon and eventually go on to the Red Planet.
Yeah.
Clayton Sandell, Scripps News, Denver.
Yeah. Just, hey, don't go holding your breath, right? On going back to the moon.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, what did he
Main
go into
engine
now?
start, ignition, and lift
I mean, that was comical, that,
NASA
right?
heads off to Mars, looking for
Sure. To my wife. And the Oscar goes
clues
to
about the evolution
that
of
guy.
Mars.
Oh, man. Talk about bad acting. Jesus. I was reading when I read about the fake Mars. I mean, it's so funny them talking about fake Mars. It's like the truth in plain sight. Yeah, fake Mars. Fake Mars. They're going to fake Mars. Yeah, bloody fake Mars, all right. You can say that again. But yeah, it's quite funny. That guy there talking about how he's going to miss his wife. I remember reading that. Seemingly, it cracked me up. Seemingly, even their phone calls that they get so many phone calls a week. There's a 22-minute delay between talking. I mean, that would drive you insane, that, right? I'm waiting 22 minutes for someone to answer a question. It would drive you mental, man. I mean, it cracked me up to think that, because I thought, well, I don't think there was a big delay with the landline they had on the moon. There was no delay. There was pretty much it was pretty much like a phone call here on Earth. Funny that, right? Of course, it was from a landline. Yeah, comedy gold indeed. It is certainly that. I'll take you now. We'll jump away from that one for a sec. I want to try and quickly rattle through these. So I'll take you to the next segment. We'll go with that. Surely there's a quicker way to do this. Probably right in front of my face, and I can't even see it. What was the next one again? Does anybody know? I think it was the one from the mirror on the wall. Yeah. Man. Look, it's a donut. Yeah. Homer Simpson left it on Mars. It's a big donut. This came out today. It's all over the place. Alien Life! They finally found it! A fucking donut on Mars! It's gotta be aliens. It must be. This is doing the rounds today. NASA! Of course, yeah. NASA unveils major alien life on Mars update after rover makes crater discovery. Right. And they say it's biotic origins, delivered from living organisms, have not been discounted as an explanation for the alien life spotted in the Jezero crater on Mars. Jezero. Right. Sure. So they've spotted something strange in the neighborhood. And seemingly this is Mars, right? Sure it is. Of course it is. All them people couldn't lie. How could all them people lie? It's funny when people say that, right? Oh, police. It wasn't me. So yeah, that's the image. Where is it? There. What do we think it might be? A bagel, maybe? What else looked like a bagel before? What was it again? Was it a comet or something else? They were calling it the bagel. And it's like, yeah, okay, sure. So they're claiming that could be of ET origin. NASA probably will come out and say, it's just a normal rock. It just, because of the light, because of the studio lighting. It just looks different because of the studio lighting, right? Let's go with that. So I wanted to show you that because it came out today. And people are going to be running with it in the UFO quarters. It's aliens! They're on Mars! Yeah. Who told you that? NASA? NASA indeed. Right, so I wanted to point out that one. I've got another article here that I want to show you. I'm going to try and rattle through it because we're cracking on. We're approaching the 3-hour mark. Yikes. But there you go. I've enjoyed it. The time flies. It really does. So if I can work this, we can show you the next one. I should really do it another way. And again, kind of syndrome related. Well, most definitely. The hill, over the hill, and far away. The hills have eyes. New theory of Earth's rapid creation. Huh? I thought it was so vast and long for millions and billions and millions and millions and billions and millions and millions and billions and billions of years. Sure. New theory of Earth's rapid creation makes alien life more likely. And again, it's not due to a discovery out stuff here on Earth. Shock horror. So if we look at a wee bit, the formation of Earth may have looked more like a fast, inevitable landslide than like a slow series of occasional cataclysms, as scientists have long theorized, according to findings published Wednesday in Nature. The good guys, the go-to, the white coats. So it's all change. It's always changing, right? Every day, every single day. And most people don't even know. If it did, Earth-like planets could be far more common than, you guessed it, previously thought. Right. Sure. So that's great, right? You can see where it's heading. It's all heading in one direction and one direction only. We'll jump out of that one. I'm trying to speed it up. I want to show you as much as I can. But when I try to hurry up, it is the old more hurry, less of the speed. Right? Is that just me? Maybe that's just me. Let me see. Yeah, we're getting one step closer. We're very close now. We're inching towards it. Right? We're one step closer to finding alien life on Venus. Not Uranus, not Earth, but Venus. I mean, we can't even find it here on Earth, but we'll find it on Venus, right? New observations of a chemical compound in Venus. Yeah. Where did they test that? How did they get it? I don't know. New observations of a chemical compound in Venus clouds have renewed interest in the possibility even of life on our planetary neighbor. Right. Now, I do remember Bill Cooper said, when was it? I think it might have even been in his book, Behold a Pale Horse. If not, he definitely said it at some point. He said they're going to come out in the future and they're going to tell you they've discovered alien life, and it's going to be on the planet Venus. Bill said that in the 90s, and I think they've actually came out and said it in the past since. I think they've tried to say that the likelihood of aliens being found is going to be Venus. So that could be another prediction that Bill Cooper's called. Although, of course, Bill would have said, yeah, they're going to tell you that, but it won't be fucking true, right? Of course it won't be true. And of course, people have seen this coming for years now. So could it be Venus where they find Blue Abadi Abadai? Right? Do we know that song? Surely everyone knows that song, right? Blue Abadi Abadai. I don't know, maybe the Americans don't know. Blue Abadi Abadai. What a bloody weird song, right? I think it came out in the 90s. If I can remember correctly. I'm sure I remember being at the showies listening to Blue Abadi Abadai. It feels like a long time ago, that. So I'll take you from Venus. No, we're not going to Uranus just yet. We may get there. Or we just may. I'll take you to the next one, which would be... Anybody? Yeah, about maybe a month ago now. And this caught my interest because it was pushed right across the board. And we had the space agency, NASA, come out and had what they called a public meeting with the public, the average Joe. Sure. So they came out and had a first, burping. They came out and had what they called a first of its kind, a first in history. How fitting. It's all gathering pace rapidly. I mean, 10 years ago, NASA holding a meeting about UFOs with the public? It would have been unheard of. It would have been laughed at, scoffed at. Don't be stupid. They're going to the moon. They don't care about snailians. Huh. And maybe they do. Maybe this is another true colour of NASA. The great reveal. Get your popcorn, right? Get your popcorn ready. So when I remember reading last month about this, I thought, why? Why now? Why now? And I think this will be the first in a series of these meetings, which probably will become a bit of a soap opera. Maybe even in a Holly News sense, which is a mixture of Hollywood and the news, even, which I call Holly News, right? I coined it here at That's Life, but not as we know it. At least I'm claiming I've coined it, right? I'm claiming to coin Holly News, and I'm claiming the phrase Rady Nation. So if you see anybody using it, let me know. Right, and I'll sue them for copyright. Hey, I've got to put claim to something, right? We'll go with that. But that, obviously, the Holly News, people can work out why I would call it Holly News. The Rady Nation is, yeah, that's what we live in. And of course, it came about me trying to think of a name for the video instead of just calling it Smartphones and Radiation. I had a bright idea to call it Rady Nation. And yeah, I guess probably not that smart, but it's smart for me. Little old me, that's for sure. So we'll jump from the meetings. And I honestly, watch this space with these meetings, right? I'll let you know if there's any more in regards to these public meetings. I was going to call it a secret meeting there, but it's not even that. October's in the hood as well. Good to see October back again. Great stuff. I'll take you to this one now. If I can find it. We're running low on the time. Where did it go? Can anybody see it? Is there anybody out there? We're still rolling. We're still going. I think it could be this one. No, it's not that one, actually. Yeah, we're getting there now. And I mentioned this, I think maybe a week or 2 weeks ago. They're talking about, in the media, they were talking about, at least at the time, how alien contact, it's not going to be E.T. and a wee guy's bicycle. It's going to be AI that does it. Hooray! All hail AI. I mean, that's great, that, right? Finally, we're going to contact aliens on the landline. No, well, not quite. AI is going to do it. Sure. And I mean, how fitting would that be? It would be just so fitting. And you could we should have maybe called it, to be honest. It's going to be AI that contacts the aliens, and you can't see them because they live on the far side of the moon, or they live at Point Nemo here on Earth, but they're still aliens, right? Sure, let's go with that. That one cracked me up, and it, although we should have maybe predicted it, it did kind of take me off guard. Because again, in your mind, you've got this whole movie concept of aliens contact with, I don't know, the president or whatever it may be. But no, AI is going to do it. We are not worthy. Yeah, sure it's going to do it. Sure it is. AI is going to come chasing you, right? I think there's maybe one more. Well, what did I do there? Now, I did mention as well, when we talked about the whole spy balloon scenario, remember all that? I mean, it's quite comical thinking back, right? Everyone was in a panic about a wee fucking latex balloon that NASA had let go, or Google had let go, one of their bloody satellite balloons. Do you know who the two biggest balloon launchers in the world are? NASA and Google. Why would they be that? I thought they had satellites. Of course, their satellites are balloons. Shock horror. And that's by their own admission. It's not like I'm sitting here making it up. It's all true. It's all there for people to see. But we did say then, now we're going to go on to see a lot more reports about UFO sightings. And this came out in May. NASA team says over 800 incidents investigated. And of course, pre 5 year ago, you wouldn't hear NASA even talk about a UFO. What is this here? Why are they talking about Bart Simpson? Bart Simpson balloons and rogue microwave oven launches were not topics we thought would be brought up today. Huh. But when the topic of UFOs is being talked about, anything can happen. Bart Simpson balloons? Maybe that's who was behind the spy balloon, right? Sure. Let's have, they seem to be, and it's all part of the big confusion, the big deception, where they tend to now not call them UFOs but UAPs. A clear red flag again. So they talk about how NASA held their first public meeting on UAPs. UAP is defined by NASA as observations of events in the sky that cannot be identified as aircraft or known natural phenomena from a scientific perspective. So if you don't know what it is, it's ET. NASA's study is separate from the Pentagon's investigation into unidentified aerial phenomena, which has been studied by US intelligence officials. Yeah. Of course, we had the Pentagon as well, and the US Navy also in on the UFO Act. So it's all coming together from every quarter, every angle. Shock horror. Now, I did say, and I'll show you before I forget, in about 2000 and, I don't know, 15 maybe, I spotted, it was during the daytime and it was quite cloudy, quite grey, but there was something in the sky. It was like a white sort of cylinder, but it looked like two cylinders as well. It was really weird. And still to this day, I'm none the wiser as to what it was. The video I got wasn't that great, so I've tried to bring it out as much as I can and zoom in without completely destroying it. So I'll go to it and I'll show you the video, right? I've slowed it down a wee bit, so you can hopefully see it. And I did point to it at the start of the video, so you should you should see it, right? And this is going back a few years now. I've not seen many. I've seen strange things in the sky, but it's usually quite quick. And I've usually not got a video recorder at hand, at least when it's happened in the past. Since this incident happened, I don't think I've seen anything similar since. And I had never seen anything like it before in my life. God only knows what it was. So I'll get it out now. He's getting it out. The video, of course. Bandy Boo is in the hood, my good friend from down under. I hope you're doing well. I send much love to you and your son as well. I hope you're doing well. The both of you, all the way in Australia. That's not a knife. Horrendous impression, right? Of what was the guy's name again? Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife. I always say that when someone's got a knife. That's not a knife. And if they don't know what I'm talking about, I walk away, right? They should know. Everyone surely has seen Crocodile Dundee, right? What was the guy's name again? Oh, Steve Coogan, I think is his name. I'm sure that's his name. I'm unsure if he's still about. A good actor, definitely. And a great film as well. Definitely. So, let me see if I can find the video. Good to see Bandy Boo in the hood, and thank you for the emails as well. Much appreciated. I think the video is about a minute long, so not too long. The original clip was only about 30 seconds. That's how quick and it was done. So I've slowed it down a bit, and here it goes. So there you go. That was it. You're going to be like, wait, was that it? You might have to watch it back to get a good look at it. To be fair, I had to watch it a few times myself, but I'm not going to play it again. But I really don't know what it was. If I was to put a guess to what it was, I would say it was either some form of weather or atmospheric manipulation being tested. Remember, I'm not far from a gigantic military complex. So I kind of connect it to that. It's either that or technology we simply don't know about. I kind of lean towards it being technology that can manipulate the atmosphere. That's what I would lean towards rather than ET. But hey, who am I to rule that out, right? So that was my ET video. Paul Hogan is his name. Of course it is. Who said Steve Coogan? Ah, man, it's late, right? We'll go with that. I guess I wasn't that far away. It sounds similar. Of course, Steve Coogan is the guy who plays Alan Partridge, right? Which is back in the 90s, I quite liked. I'm Alan Partridge. I thought it was quite funny. They don't make comedies like they used to. They don't get away. They're not allowed to anymore. Even in a comical sense, you're not allowed to say certain things, right? What a world we are in. Anyway, that just about concludes the first installment of A-lien deception, aka, excuse me, an alien deception. And I think we kind of scratched the surface to an extent. Excuse me. Bloody hell. We scratched the surface to an extent tonight. Very professional here, right? Man. Of course, I'm just a beginner. I'm an amateur. I've been doing it for years. Shh. Don't tell anyone. I only do it part-time. So if I've been doing it for 4 years, I've only been doing it for 2 because I'm only doing it part-time. Although my wife, she might disagree with that. So I guess, yeah, thank you very much for joining tonight, wherever you are in this completely insane world that we inherit. Yikes. But we do our best to make it a better place, a comfier place, a more pleasant place. And we do this by walking tall, heads high, not for one split second living in fear. We do not do it. It's eradicated. And hey, we do not let anyone get in our way. Never. No matter who they are, no matter who they think they may be. They do not get in our way. Right? You keep going no matter what. So we'll say cheerio. Good to see Robert in the hood. Great stuff, Robert. Thanks very much for joining tonight. The beautiful Justine back again. Make sure you check out Justine's channel if not already. Like I said, I will be chasing you if you haven't. Get it done. And thank you very much to Jim over on on Facebook. Jim might have been the only guy there. So fair play, Jim. Thank you very much for holding the line, right? I always wonder what's the point in putting it on the page that I've got. No one watches it. No one watches it anyway, to be fair. So I may as well, right? If I enjoy it, I'll put it out. Why not? If there ever comes a day where I don't, then I probably won't. And that'll be it. I mean, Richie Allen, he's kind of at his tether's end with a lot of it. It can get you down. It can be... I mean, when people think of content creation, they tend to think, well, it's not physical. It's not demanding, but it is demanding. It can be demanding in a mental sort of sense. Trying to keep up with all the latest deception can be stressful to an extent. And you've got to have the skin for it, the nose for it. Otherwise, you could go digging in places you might regret digging in. So you've got to be prepared, keep your eyes peeled, stay strong, take everything on the chin, right? Tomorrow's a new day, a new dawn. We keep going. And I send all my love and respect to Richie Allen. I mean, the guy does a phenomenal amount of work. He's a bit burnt out at the moment. So he's took a few days off and he's taking a bit of time out to recover, which is only fair. I mean, I would say, look, take as much time as you need, but this is how insane people can be. People actually have a go at him for taking time out when he's burnt out. Like they own him. And it really bloody annoys me because he knocks his pan in trying to put on a show, if you like, putting together this show that he does. And then he does it to such an extent where it burns him out. And then he's got people demanding that he should be there. And that really does annoy me. I've always had a go at people who have a go at folk for taking time out. I mean, what do they want? Do they want these people to drive themselves into the ground to a point where they just completely knock it on the head? Of course not. So you've got to let them do what they need to do. I mean, Richie doesn't owe anybody anything. No one does. But there's certain people out there who seem to think that they do own these people. So if you've been looking for the Richie Allen show, I'm not sure when he's going to be back, but there's lots of previous shows on YouTube for people to check out, and I'll let you know when he's back, Linda. I'm sure he'll be fine, and he'll get back on the horse. It can get a bit overwhelming at times for people. I totally understand that. So I wouldn't knock them for taking a time out and a breather. It can be hot in the kitchen. We'll go with that, right? So, thank you very much, Justine, and Joni as well. Make sure you check out Joni's channel, if not already, and hopefully I can get you on for a chat in the future. And like I said, many thanks to Jim. Great stuff over on Facebook. Fantastic. And Bandy Boo as well. What a pleasure to see you all the way down under, right? I read something about Australia today. What was it again? Oh, I can't remember now. Oh, bugger. I'll be lying in my bed and it'll come back to me. Oh, it's going to annoy me. What was it? Oh, that's so annoying. Anyway, I'll remember next week, probably. Good to see Bandy Boo in the Hood. Jack Russell as well. A pleasure to see Jack Russell back again. The beautiful Justine. Always a pleasure. And thank you for your continued engagement. Rob in the Hood, Big Rob, good to see you back again. It's a duck, good to see It's a duck, who'll be missing our John Davidson. I'm sure John will be fine and he'll be back on the horse as well. Possibly a bit burnt out as well as, I think, pneumonia. I mean, when you're an old guy and you get pneumonia, it's not good. It's not good. So my heart goes out to John. I really hope he's going to be okay and he gets back. Similar to Richie Allen, John done quite a lot of streaming. I think maybe Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So the 3 days a week, which can be quite a lot. Week in, week out. So it might have took its toll as well. But I'm sure John will be back. So thank you very much. It's a duck for joining tonight. So what I'll do is I'll find a tunage and then we'll say cheerio. When am I going to be back? I might jump on Friday for a bit of a catch up. And then it'll be probably next week. And I kind of want to get into, well, there's a few things actually, but it's kind of all based on Freemasons and the whole secret society narrative. And it's quite an interesting one. I've came across a few things of interest. One topic in particular in regards to the power of memory. Does anybody know anything about that? We're away looking it up now, right? Oh, I know about that. Yeah, that's about this, that, and the next thing. Yeah, but I'd imagine we do have people in our midst who do know what I'm talking about. And we'll look at certain things connected to Freemasons and potentially the power of memory and the whole history connected to it. So yeah, like I always say, there's lots to come. Get out there, enjoy yourself, help people as much as you can. I mean, helping people, I cannot stress enough how important that is. Not just for the person that you're helping, but for yourself. It works wonders, man. Even just to help a stranger out. I mean, there's not many homeless people. There's no homeless people in Elgin. But you can help people in other ways, right? There's lots of different ways to help people, even if it's just going to a charity shop and donating something to a charity shop. You're going to feel 10 times better. And you're probably going to help someone out. The week later, the jacket that you gave to the charity shop, you'll see someone walking about in it, getting the benefit from it, happy to get the benefit from it. So, I will tonight find a tune. Oh, okay. Cheers, Billy. My son, Billy. Dropping off my phone. There you go. Even treated from my son, Billy. It can't be all bad, right? I wondered where it was, to be honest. It was downstairs, but there you go. So, yeah, get out there. Do what you can. Help who you can. Enjoy life as much as you can. Take every minute for as much as you can get from it. Because in the end, life is too short, let's face it. And I know it's a bit cliche and all the rest of it, but it is. So do what you can, enjoy what you can while you can. Because that's what I'll be doing. And I'll be walking with my head held high. Big time. And I won't be bending or breaking to any of their tyranny. They can ram it, the whole lot, right? So, keep your head high. Get out there. Do what you can, right? And like I always say, no matter what, no matter where, do not comply. And that is about it. Bye-bye.
You want me to knock you in the head?
Well, I want you to swear to
Get
God
away
on the
from
Bible
me.
that you
Get
walked
away
on the
from
moon.
me, okay?
If you walked on the moon, we're given the opportunity to swear to God that you walked on the moon.
I'm going to give you the opportunity to get the hell knocked out of you if you don't leave me alone.
So why don't you just put the end to the record in the argument and put your hand on the Bible, swear to God you walked on the moon.
Mr. Cybro, knowing you, that's probably a fake Bible. Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. Why don't you talk to the administrator in NASA? We're passengers. We're guys going on a flight.
I don't hit people, but you're going to be on the deck unless you get.
I'm heading out.
I appreciate it. And get the hell out of my house.
Well, take your stuff and get the fuck out. Why don't you quote me and say it's bullshit?
In the shadows in Iran, I don't give a damn about all that shit.
You're full of shit.
Of lunar orbit being falsified.
Being falsified?
Correct. We got an unedited tape from a source at the Johnson Space Center.
Yes. Totally nonsense.
Mr. Seibel, you do not deserve answers.
If you show this publicly, you're open for a lawsuit. Okay?
Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. In the year 2525, if man is still alive, if woman can survive, they may find. No, they did it. In the year 3535, ain't gonna need to tell the truth, tell no lies. Everything you think, do or say is in the pill you took today. In the year 4545, ain't gonna need your teeth or your eyes. You won't find a thing to chew. Nobody's gonna look at you. In the year 5555, your arms hanging limp at your side. Your legs have got nothing to do, so she's doing that for you. In the year 6565, ain't gonna need no husband, won't need no wife. You pick your son, your daughter too, from the bottom of a long last tube. In the year 7510, if God's coming, ought to be here by then. Maybe he'll look around himself and say, I guess it's time for Judgment Day. In the year 8510, God's gonna shake his mighty hand. He'll either say I'm pleased with where man's been, or tear it down and start again. In the year 9595, I'm kinda wondering if man's gonna be alive. He's taking everything this poor earth can give, and he ain't putting back a goddamn thing. Now it's been 10,000 years. The man has cried a billion tears for what he never knew. But now man's reign is through, but through the eternal night, twinkling of stars.